Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Mr. Poketacular here with another video tutorial on how to play the Pokemon TCG. You guys requested that I would do another video while showing you with the cards, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. It's been a while, so let's go ahead and get started. Before you even get started playing a battle with somebody else, you want to have a deck that consists of 60 cards. And if you want to look at my other video, I have another video posted on how to build a Pokemon deck. If you want to check that out before watching this one. So when you battle somebody, both of you and your opponent, you guys shuffle your deck to get started. And basically, after you shuffle your deck, you give your opponent the opportunity to cut the deck if he wants to. Basically, when they cut it, they only chop it once, and they can't do it more than once because that would be considered a shuffle. So the object here is to try to get a basic Pokemon into play so you can begin the game. Okay, so I don't have an opponent so to cut my deck, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw my 7 cards. 5, 6, 7. Okay, here is my hand. I didn't get a single basic Pokemon. All I got is stage 1s and, trainer cards and energy. So I just mulligan. So let's say my opponent, he got a basic Pokemon and I mulligan. What I have to do is now I have to shuffle my cards back into my deck, and I have to try to draw 7 more cards to get a basic. So if he got the basic though, he has the opportunity to draw an extra card before we even begin the game. But if we both mulligan, then we both shuffle our cards into the deck and try again to get a basic, and nobody draws a card. So I'll shuffle again, trying to get a basic. Alright, so 1, see, this time I got a basic on the first card. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, when you start off, you want to put the Pokemon face down, so you don't want to reveal him just yet until we've set up our prize cards and we've determined who goes first. After we determine who goes first, then you can flip that card over. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my prize cards over here to the left, and the amount of cards that you set is 6 cards, so you're going to have 6 prize cards. And the way to win a game, the object of winning a game is to collect all your prize cards. So the way you collect your prize cards is by knocking out the opponent's, the defending Pokemon. So every time you knock out a Pokemon, you take a prize card. Unless it's like an EX, the card will say at the bottom that you take 2 prize cards for the EX. So now we both have so if you collect all your prize cards, that's one way of winning. If you knock out your opponent's Pokemon and he has no other Pokemon on his bench to put into play, that's also another way of winning. And also, if your opponent decks out and he can't draw a card at the beginning of his turn, then that's also another way of winning or losing if you deck out as well. So now, let's say that my opponent and I have our basic Pokemon set up. So now we're going to determine who goes first. So we're going to flip a coin. So somebody has to call it. Once you call it, then let's say let's say he called tails. So and it landed on heads. So I would go first. So now you guys flip over your card, and to start your turn, you always have to draw a card. So we'll draw a card, and here is my hand. So in your turn, what you can do is you can attach 1 energy per turn. You can play as many trainer items. Well, I got some of the old cards where they say trainer, but now they say trainer items. And also, you can only play 1 supporter, and this is what a supporter looks like. It'll say trainer, supporter. And you can only play 1 stadium, which I don't have any stadiums in this deck. So you can play as many trainers, 1 stadium, 1 supporter, and attach 1 energy, and you can use as many abilities as you want in your turn. unless the ability states saying otherwise. So here's my hand. So we're going to attach a special dark to Poniard, which that's my energy for the turn. And I have a Pokemon tool, and you can attach it. What that does, this Pokemon tool card, it allows me to attack for 20 more damage if I do damage to the Pokemon. If I don't do anything, then that card doesn't work. Like, example, let's say flip a coin until, this is his attack, Ironhead. Flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 10 times the number of heads. So let's say I flipped the coin and it landed on tails. Well, I don't do any damage, and that doesn't do 20 more because I didn't do any damage. But if it landed on heads and then I got tails the next one, because it says keep flipping until you get tails, then I would do 20 plus the attack damage. That'd be 10. And then I have also a special dark energy. I would have done 40 for that turn when I attack. But anyways, we haven't got that far. So I would play, you can play as many trainers as you want. So I would play a level ball. What that does is it allows me to go into my deck and look for a Pokemon with HP, with a 90 HP and less. So now we can go in there, and then I have to shuffle my deck afterwards. So I played one trainer, but I can play as many trainers as I want. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle here in a second because I can still play cards. So junk arm, what I do is I discard two cards from your hand, search your discard for a trainer card, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. And you can't choose junk arm with the effect of this card. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to get the level ball, so I would discard them two and get another level ball, goes into my hand after I show my opponent. So basically what you do is you read the cards, you play them as they're read. And so I'll play another level ball. We're going to try to get another Horsey out because Horsey is very vital in his deck. It's a vital supporter to allow my Bisharp to attack. My Bisharp can only do a lot of damage if the other Pokemon has damage on it, and Kingdra allows me to put 1 damage counter. So they go really well together. So now I have to shuffle my cards. Okay, so now my opponent gets the opportunity to cut. Like I said, I don't have an opponent, so we'll leave it like that. And then I play my 1 supporter for the turn. And we'll draw 7. It says discard your hand and then draw 7 cards. So I had no hand, so I just draw 7 cards. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So look at my hand again. So now I got a fresh new hand, and I also got another basic. So I can put him into play, because you can play as many basic Pokemon as you want on your turn, but you can't evolve the Pokemon once it goes into play. Once you just put them in play, and also you can't evolve on your first turn, and your opponent can't evolve on his first turn. So that covers that. So now I can still play, let's see, some trainers. So this deck is really fast when it can play out pretty well. So we'll go ahead and let's see here. We'll go ahead and leave it like that. So the way to end your turn is by attacking, or you can say end your turn if you don't have the amount of energies. So you have to look at your Pokemon. It says 1 colorless. Colorless, you can pay that energy cost with any energy. But if it says dark on the Pokemon card, then you have to pay it with a dark energy. And everything on the card, this will tell you the evolution of the card. It will say basic, stage 1 or stage 2 at the top left hand corner. Your HP will be at the right top right hand corner, and your attacks would normally be there. And you always pay attention to the weakness, resistant, and retreat costs, because when you retreat, in order to retreat, you would have to discard that card because it's only one energy. So, but we're not going to retreat. So now my opponent did his turn. He did everything, like all the steps that he has to take. So now it'll be my turn again. So now I would draw another card. So you just keep repeating the same process. So now I drew my card. Now I can evolve. So I'm going to skip an evolution with the rare candy. Rare candy allows me to do that. So that's a trainer card. So I can play as many of those as I want. So now Horsey goes straight into Kingdra instead of Horsey into Seadra. That's what rare candy does. Now I'm going to play my one supporter for my turn. And that's going to be a Charon. And that I draw 3 cards. So I got a basic. I can play him on the bench if I wanted to. Now my guy is gonna be set up right here. You want to try to build a deck where you can set up as quick as possible. So with Junk Arm, a rare candy, and a dark energy to get another level ball. Which junk arms were the bomb, but they don't have them anymore into play. It's now illegal. But either way, Pokemon is the same concept. So we'll get Bisharp. Okay, let's say his. I have to shuffle my cards now. And then let's say his opponent only had 60 HP. So now I'm going to use my ability. And it says once during your turn, you may put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it says only once. I can use as many Pokepowers as I want, but he said I can only. The card says I can only use this once. So if I had another one, I could use that one too as well. So let's say I attack. I did my Spray Splash for 1 damage, then I did Finishing Blow for 90, 100, and plus that other damage from Kingdra would be 110. So I knocked him out. Now you collect your prize card because I knocked out that Pokemon. Another thing is special conditions. Here's the token for burn, and this one is for poison. Poison, when you're poisoned in between turns, he takes 1 damage. So what in between turns means is before your opponent draws a card, or before when it's your turn to go before you draw a card. That's in between turns. So every time it switches over, you put a damage counter. And also burn. If he was burned by a Pokemon in between turns as well, you would have to flip a coin. And I believe if it lands on tails, you take damage. But if it lands on heads, you don't take any damage. And the damage is 20. And if you're asleep, you just turn him sideways, and in between turns you flip to see if he wakes up. If it lands on heads, he wakes up. Lands on tails, he stays asleep. And if you're paralyzed, he goes sideways as well. And when you're paralyzed, you can't retreat. When you're asleep, you can't retreat. And the last but not least, if you're confused, you flip him upside down. Now, when confused goes into effect is, let's say if you try to attack, you would have to flip a coin. If it lands on tails, you take 3 damage, but if it lands on heads, your attack works. And you can retreat when you're confused. You just have to pay the retreat costs or have a trainer item. As I was showing, you can play as many of those as you want, and but you would have to have a switch. That's what it is. It's a trainer item. To retreat, and then that removes the special condition when you retreat. And I think that covers everything. Well, thanks for watching. This is Mr. Poketacular. Stay tuned. I'll be having some more videos coming up. Thanks. Bye.